Okay, so we've done a lot about Tesla on this show. I love Tesla. They're electric cars. They're popping up all over LA. It is hopefully going to get us off oil, which causes all kinds of other problems. But Michigan is now going to try to outlaw Tesla, or at least the way that they are selling Teslas. That's right. Governor Rick Snyder has signed a bill that will keep Tesla from selling its cars directly to consumers. We've got some more info for you. So Michigan is going to become the 5th U.S. state to keep Tesla from easily selling cars directly to consumers, joining Texas, New Jersey, Arizona, and Maryland. In all of those states except Michigan, Tesla operates galleries where consumers can view Tesla cars but cannot discuss prices, take test drives, or order cars. Michigan's gone a step further and will not allow even the informational galleries. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but Detroit is in Michigan, and we make a lot of cars in Michigan, so I'm wondering if maybe the big car manufacturers don't want the little electric guy to come in, and maybe they put some money that got the governor to sign a bill to stop the electric guy. I know I'm a conspiracy theorist. This is the type of shit that drives me crazy, and everything that we do about money in politics, this is it. I mean, we have a good product. We talk about oil all the time.
That helps people.
That helps people. That helps the environment. That could help our foreign policy because we wouldn't be so dependent on awful regimes in the Middle East. All of that stuff. We got a good product, and clearly what is happening here is the money from the big car makers is coming in and saying, wow, you're doing something electric, you're selling directly to the people. We're not going to do it.
This is what happens when you don't plan ahead. When the progressive nature of our world happens and you're not ready. And now, by the way, I fault Rick Snyder, the governor, for doing this.
Yep.
But in a way, I feel like he had to. Not just because of money, partially the money, but also because you're not representing the people of your state anymore. There's workers for these plants, there's workers for Fords and Chevys and Chryslers and Dodges and all this stuff, and they're going to go, you're going to come in and sell us out? You know how much trouble we've been in so much for? I'm trying to keep my job. You're going to destroy my job. And that's what his constituents are saying. And whatever representatives are probably supposed to listen to them. Because, I mean, states are just small versions of countries, right? At least in our country, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But then then they have their own little things in the way they operate. But you have to understand that the world is changing. And you have to be ready to set up a system that allows Ford, Chevy, Dodge to change the way they do things so that you're not pushing other companies out, which is illegal.
Right.
And then now you have this problem. So what you should do is maybe right now be like, okay, we're going to let them in, but you guys should understand, I can't keep out normal capitalism from occurring in my state, so you guys are going to have to step up because these guys are ahead of you. So you need to change the system, but right now he kind of has to accept it because they're thinking he's going to sell out every constituent that lives there.
Right, so that's a really great point because it's a philosophical point. Does he do as the governor what's right? What is right, which is allow the free market to go and this clearly what is a good product, let it be sold in a positive way, but at the same time which would hurt his constituents. So we know what his answer is, and actually we know because he already signed the freaking thing. So what do we do about this to help empower Tesla? I mean, we keep seeing things like this. We've done stories on it. Things like Tesla, things like Uber that are getting fought against by the powerful cab lobbies, all this Airbnb, which is being fought against by the hotel lobbies. Things that are great products. I use Uber all the time. I know tons of people that use Airbnb, et cetera, that are getting fought by the machine. And I guess that's your point, that for progressive things to happen, they got to somehow come in and almost through the back and change things first before they really arrive. That wasn't even a question, but what do you got?
I mean, the only thing that you can do to protect these new progressive ideas and inventions I think are going to be laws. I mean, I remember reading that Tesla could sue the state of Michigan if needed, but when it comes to Rick Snyder, this man did it for his safety, okay? I mean, we're talking Detroit, they still walk around with baseball bats and pipes in Detroit. He did it for his...
They also don't have water in Detroit, so they're really pissed. They're thirsty and angry.
Yeah, dry spells and everything like that. Yeah. So I understand the man.
No, they literally shut the water off in Detroit.
No, I remember. I was here for that story.
That right? Okay,
yeah, that was hardcore. Yeah. Is it turned back on yet? Do you know?
I don't think it's fully turned back on, but that's a whole other thing.
They're dehydrated. So they're angry and they've got lead pipes and they might lose their jobs. So I understand why Rick decided to do this. But I'm reading the story, I'm like, are we in North Korea or communist? Communist China is a better example because I remember when the iPod came out and they didn't limit that in any market. And guess what? Every cell phone manufacturer, communications manufacturer had to step up and play catch up to that. And that's totally cool and we're all better for it. Whereas now China, I went there, I was like, ooh, maybe I can get a cheap iPhone. Because they do, I mean, our exchange rate is amazing. Guess what? they did not carry it. They didn't. I mean, because they wanted to control that market for themselves, and now, of course, Apple has a place there, but it was all under their terms.
Yeah.
So Rick, get your act together.
Yeah,
You're for the people.
It's this feeling in the country of like, we're Americans, we compete, we win. Capitalism. If you can't stay in, then fuck you, you lost. We have this, it's taught us at 5 years old, you know?
Right.
But you know what? You got to win the game. And if somebody starts running faster, hey, you got to get in the gym.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, okay, so there's two parts here. So there's the micro part, which is him having to deal with his own internal politics and getting elected again. And he can't say, all right, I'm doing this thing, and then all his people are going to lose their jobs because they didn't do the proper infrastructure to go electric. So there's that. And then there's the bigger idea, which is where we'd want him to be brave because we have this huge problem with oil. So is the electric car actually just like a symbol for a much bigger thing? Like, if we really want to change the country, it starts with oil, right?
I don't think he was thinking that big though when he made the law. I just know he probably has a lot of friends who work in the automotive industry who wined and dined him and was like, "Hey, buddy, please." I think it was that personal.
You didn't think he was doing that?
No, he doesn't have big ideas.
You get that good steak and you're like, what am I going to do?
And he's not thinking like I do, because I mean, I like the whole electric car thing. I think we need to be off the thing. But you know what, man? I still love a nice, loud, roaring engine.
That's right.
On an '88 Camaro that I sold that I shouldn't have. But my I like hearing a good roar. If I start my car and it goes, I'm a little bit depressed.
And now you got
beeping.
Yeah, I'm a car person. Yeah, exactly.
Electric, and all of these other manufacturers. My last point is they all have electric vehicles and hybrids that they're developing. So step up, guys, because Rick Snyder can only hold this off for so long. This is not going to stay.